So recently I watched this trailer for this movie called Call Me By Your Name. I watched it and I thought, okay, doesn't look so bad. Maybe I'll watch it. But then I forgot about it. Then, after a few months, when the movie got released, a few of my friends started recommending it to me, told me, hey, it's really good, you should watch it. And then I gave some thought to it. But I particularly am not a fan of romance movies. I don't watch romances. I'm more of a horror girl. Every horror movie that ever comes out, I watch it. So Call Me By Your Name was not particularly something that I would pick to watch. So I forgot about it eventually. But then something odd happened. A friend of mine recommended it to me, and this is the kind of guy who does not watch gay films. Let me clarify, he's not a homophobe or anything. It's not his preference. It's not his preference for a genre of movies. He's more into crime thrillers, crime mystery movies and novels. So when that guy told me that this movie was something to watch, I was like, okay, I have to watch it now. So I got my ticket for the movie, I went into the theater, I watched it, and when I got out, on the surface level, all I could think of was that this is just, on a surface level, it's just another gay romance. But is it? Call Me By Your Name is something very different. It is a very different breed of romance movies, particularly gay romance movies. Now, many people would brush it off as just another film about two guys falling in love, nothing new about it. We've watched a lot of gay shorts, we have watched a lot of gay films, so what's different about this? On a personal note, this movie stuck with me. I didn't know what, I couldn't place like my finger on it, like why is this movie so special to me? And then I kind of figured it out. So I really want to share my thoughts with you. This is one of the reasons why I'm not calling this video a review of sorts, but it's just my personal opinion on why Call Me By Your Name is just more than a gay romance or a romantic film in general. I want to know your thoughts on this, so here it goes. Here are my thoughts. Now, I've divided them into three, but I just want to start by saying that this movie really took me back to a place of certain calmness and serenity that I only had when I was a teenager, especially a young teenager just about to enter adulthood, just about to enter adolescence. I don't know what was going on, and it took me back to the sort of calmness I felt when time was on my side, when time seemed to go slower than usual. I know it doesn't make much sense, but it's the kind of calmness you don't get through meditation, you don't get through meeting your friends or going to the spa, but it's the kind of calmness you felt in those leisure moments in that prime teenage years of your life, that when you didn't have anything to worry about. So my first point with Call Me By Your Name is time. First point is time. This movie has an atmosphere of slowing down time and making it feel like it's on your side and you have nothing to worry about. As Elio and Oliver live their lives in this serene, calm place, and they kind of enjoy the sun and the books and the music and just kind of take in the moments, it kind of takes me back to the place, to a time in my childhood when I didn't have too much to worry about at all. I only had school to look forward to. I didn't have too much of like assignments or homeworks or meetings or anything in my head anymore. And it was just the sun, a nice book, a crush, and me. Time seemed to be on my side, and ironically, I couldn't wait to grow up back then. And now I regret ever feeling that, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. The second feeling I got from this movie were crushes, especially crushes we've had in our teenage years. I think you know what I mean. As teenagers, as kids, we always had crushes on people we were not supposed to be with. someone older, someone, well, different, someone unattainable. I think that was a lot of us. And so, most of us didn't act on it, obviously, but some of us did. And this movie kind of takes you back to that time when you were afraid of admitting that you were head over heels over someone who you probably shouldn't be with because they're old. And as Elio discovers his feelings for Oliver, I kind of got taken back to the time when I had developed a crush on my chemistry teacher, and I could never tell him anything, obviously, but just looking at him from afar like Elio looks at Oliver just took me back to that time, to that phase of innocence where admitting, even thinking about something like that was adventurous. The third thing I felt that was special about this movie was the atmosphere of summertime that this movie kind of focuses on for like the entirety of the movie. As teenagers and as kids, when we had like an entire summer to ourselves, away from school, away from assignments, all we could do is just lie on the grass, lie under the sun, and just soak it in with no worries at all. It felt like time was still during those times, and all we had were like the earth beneath our feet, and we probably would steal a kiss or two, read a book, play some music, and watching Elio and Oliver do all of these things in this like very calm, natural setting kind of took me back to that time when there were no girlfriends, no boyfriends, no careers, no bosses, no meetings, nothing that bothered me during those summers away from school, and it was just one of those special things that the movie perfectly highlighted and perfectly depicted, I believe, in my opinion. Okay, so the fourth and final point as to why I feel this is a special kind of a movie is somewhat of a spoiler. So if you haven't watched this movie already, click out of this video right now and go watch it. I mean, what are you even doing here? You should be watching this movie. But I'm assuming that since you are watching this video, you have watched this movie, so here it goes. The final scene where Elio is just sitting in front of the fireplace and crying in silence without anybody noticing represents all of us. Elio just represented the entirety of human race in that one scene. I mean, let's face it, all of us as teenagers have gone through that first time in silence, just pouring our guts out without anybody noticing because of our first heartbreak, because of our first breakup, because of our first bullying, because of our first bad experience, a failure, whatever it may be. We've all been there. We've all been there. And Elio kind of sat there representing all of us for 4 minutes straight. I mean, it was a marvelous scene. I believe he needs to win an award for that. And it was just, while watching him just sit there and cry without making a sound while his parents were right there behind him, it was just perfect because he was suffering in plain sight and nobody could tell. I mean, that's all of us. At that particular phase in our lives when we were teenagers and we couldn't express what we were going through, maybe during our first heartbreak or a breakup, it's just something that I just related to on such a deep level because it was just a scene where you didn't require any dialogue to express a horde of emotions that we all went through at one point in our lives. And it's also important to notice that Elio's parents didn't interfere with that process. And I think that's very important to understand, because it's important that nobody in our lives interfered during that time too, when we were going through this tidal wave of very powerful emotions alone. We needed to go through that alone to kind of better cope with our emotions and deal with it the next time it happens. And I think that was like really, really well done in this movie. really enjoyed this movie, and it was a very special movie for me because it brought back all those tiny, hidden, not talked about memories that we've all kind of experienced in the past, especially in our teenage years, of having crushes on people who are older than us, on the adventures of summertime, on just enjoying an atmosphere, a natural setting for what it is, not doing anything, and of our first heartbreak and of suffering in silence and letting those feelings just go through us just at one entire flow at a time, and most importantly, of time being on our side. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave in the comments below, what did you think about this movie, and is there something that I missed that you probably caught, and if you really like this movie, why did you like it, and what were your thoughts going through with it? And if there are any other movies that you want me to talk about, you can leave it in the comments below. I would love to interact with you guys, and since I'm new here, I'm just starting out, clicking the subscribe button would really help me out a lot. I would really love to interact with everybody. If there are any other things that you want me to talk about, you can leave it in the comments below. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I make new videos every single week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.